Good day everyone, and welcome again to our IELTS lessons. In today's lesson is a continuation of the introduction to IELTS writing task 2, writing the body paragraph. And today the lesson that we're going to study is about transition words and phrases, which are very useful in developing your body paragraphs. Now we may ask, why do we need to study transition words and phrases in making our body paragraphs? Now, to understand better why we need transition words in making our body paragraphs, let us compare a paragraph with no transition words and with one that has. So let's take the same paragraph of the same essay, and let's check the example paragraph without transition words. And here it is. It says here, some people believe that academic knowledge must be taught as well. This provides life skills. The academic knowledge shows us lessons from the past which we can learn today. History tells us the struggles and mistakes we should not repeat at present. We are taught to avoid discrimination, racism, and gender inequality. Knowledge in history or literature can help us better our life and relationship with people at work. Now I'd like you to compare this body paragraph without transition word to the paragraph with transition words and phrases. So here it is. By contrast, some people believe that academic knowledge must be taught as well, because this provides life skills. To explain this, the academic knowledge shows us lessons from the past which we can learn today. One clear example is history, which tells us the struggles and mistakes that we should not repeat at present. For instance, we are taught to avoid discrimination, racism, and gender inequality. Hence, knowledge in history or literature, an academic subject, can help us better our life and relationship with people at work. Now, from the two paragraphs, which paragraph do you think keeps you follow the idea? So of course, is it a paragraph without transition words and phrases, this one, or a paragraph with transition words and phrases? Well, obviously it is a paragraph with transition words and phrases. So why do we need, again, transition words and phrases in making our body paragraphs? Okay, this is because transition words and phrases will help the reader follow your ideas from sentence to sentence and from paragraph to paragraph. Alright? Now let's study the most common transition words and phrases which we can use in making our paragraphs. So what are these most common transition words and phrases we can use in making our body paragraphs? Here they are. First is time. We have degree. We also have cause and effect. We have comparison and contrast. We have explanation. We have adding more information. So first is the transition words and phrases which we can use to transition time, or time transition words and phrases. Now the transition words here are used to explain sequence of events or happenings of events. So, and our example body paragraph here is this one. It says here, recently our school director has announced that all classes must be cancelled immediately after the heavy storm hits our city. Since last year, this is the strongest storm that hits our place. Alright, so we have used here transition words and phrases about time. Now let's move on to transition words and phrases to describe the extent of something, that is degree. Now the transition words degree is used to explain one thing that is more or less important than another thing. And here are the example transition words and phrases. And our Example body paragraph here says, one main reason why we study IELTS is to get better opportunities here and abroad. To achieve our desired band score, the most important thing to do is to learn small things every day. Alright, so again we have used here transition words, word main and most important. Again, this is used to present degrees of comparison. Then we also have comparison and contrast. Now these transition words and phrases is used to explain how two or more things are similar, that is comparison, or how they are different, that is contrast. So again, comparison here means similarities or showing the same things, people or events, while contrast here means differences or showing different things, people or events. Alright, and here below or here in the table you can see the useful transition words and phrases that we can use in transitioning comparison and contrast. Now our example paragraph here using compare and contrast transition is this one. For example, is the transition words that describe cause and effect. Cause and effect transition words and phrases is used to explain on how something caused a change in something else. And here below are the transition words and phrases to describe this one. And of course, our example paragraph says here, owing to my parents' hard work, they were able to send me to a good school. For this reason, I don't want to fail them. Hence, I must try my best to study harder so that they will be proud of me. Alright? Next is when we would like to explain what something is by giving an example, or if you are emphasizing something, then we can use here transition words and phrases about explanation. And here below are the transition words and phrases to explain something by giving an example. And in our example paragraph, it says here, studying IELTS may be hard for non-native speakers. For instance, topics in writing task 2 and speaking are broad. In other words, you have to be familiar with almost all things under the sun. For example, you have to have ideas about education, hobbies, environment, and many more. Now let's move on to the next. Finally, when we want to add more information to make your point stronger, we can use transition words and phrases to add information. So adding information here is used to add more information to make your point stronger. And here below are the transition words and phrases which we can use to add details. And our example paragraph here is this one. Learning English here is quite difficult. Besides the fact that I only have less than 3 hours studying English every day, I also have after-school classes such as literature, math, and physics. Moreover, I don't speak English at home and at school, so my only time to practice English is at the English Language Center. Okay, so now that we have studied here some useful transition words and phrases to describe time, describe degree, cause and effect, comparison and contrast, explanation, and adding more information, the next thing we need to do here is to check our understanding. Now in here, we have to read the sentence carefully and select the correct answer choice. Now for example, it says here, Margaret buys a cup of coffee at the newsstand. the choices are so and then. Alright, and our answer here is then. Now let's answer questions 1 to 5. So these are the exercises 1 to 5, and again, what we need to do here is to select the correct transition in exercise 1 to 5. So I'd like you to pause the video to do this exercise. Alright, and then let's move on to answer questions 6 to 10. The same thing that you have to do here is to just select the correct answer or correct transition for each sentence. Now pause the video to do this exercise. Okay, so let's check the answers from 1 to 10. So here are our answers. Okay, so if you've got all correct answers, then I think you can now use transition words and phrases to develop your body paragraph. Now this time, since you have studied some useful words and phrases or some useful transition words and phrases, I'd like you to test yourself by writing a complete essay output and have your IELTS mentor check your progress. Alright, so now if you want to keep updated with new lessons every week, particularly writing and speaking, and cover the entire course to achieve your IELTS band score of not less than 7 in all areas and be confident at English language, I'd like you to just click the subscribe button here, and don't forget to hit notifications. Right? So see you again in our next lesson, and I'd like you to study hard, study smart. Always remember that progress is progress, no matter how small. All right, so goodbye and see you next time.